Live, we are live. Hello. This is the pre-stream porn music. As they call it. Live. Oh, I hear myself. All right, I'm getting on screen here. Welcome to the Geekdom 101 live stream. As today, we're going to be going over Manga Chapter 73, taking member calls. I hope y'all are having a good day today. Hello, chat room. How y'all doing? It's been a couple weeks since I've seen you guys, and we have some things to talk about. And yes, super chats are open. Make sure you leave a like, of course, if you're stopping by. Don't forget to do that. I'm going to go ahead and promote the stream out right now. Leave a like and we'll talk about what's going on. This chapter, all action, or at least mostly action this chapter. Hello, how are you? I really appreciate the warm welcome y'all are giving me in the chat. It means a lot to me, seriously. It means a lot to me. My beatboxing skills are okay. I can't really do porn music that well. Hope y'all are doing great though. I see a bunch of you in there. I have the chat set to 25 seconds, so it shouldn't be that slow. But super chats are open. And again, if you're stopping by, make sure you leave a like. And that would help me out a lot. Oh, that's me. I'm over here pushing the wrong button. Anyways, what I was gonna tell you guys is that the chat room is loading up right now, so I gotta kind of wait a little bit for everybody to join. Welcome Korg to Super Saiyan Soldiers. Even though I could have sworn you were already there. Why did I think you were already there? Did you downgrade? I don't know. But in my review for the manga chapter, I talked about how awesome this art was. And after viewing it a second time with better quality than what I originally had, I gotta say that it was amazing art. Now, amazing art does not make up for a bad story. And while I don't think this chapter had a bad story, there were some questionable things, which I'm going to discuss with you guys here on this stream. But before I get to that, I want to say that the art was great. Toyotaro has really improved his paneling, in my opinion. I think he's improved the way he draws Goku's face. I think he's improved his action sequences. Look at the way he kind of does. It's on the screen right now. The way he sort of does like the the background with like the lines, almost like to represent speed. I thought that was really well done. I should have talked about it in the review, but that's why we have these streams. The speed thing I thought was fantastic. I thought it was really well done. And I think it felt really good too. We're going to be talking about on this stream as well, chapter 74 of the manga too. Don't forget that. We'll be previewing that because Vegeta seems to think he has a chance, and historically speaking, he doesn't always have a chance. But if you look at this panels, dude. Like, I actually can't wait to own this actual manga. I can't wait to actually have the book just to look at this again because like I said, the art was great. Like, the art was fantastic. And I got to give him credit. I mean, we got to give the dude credit, man. When he brings it, he brings it, Now, the big thing I've noticed, the big complaint I've seen based on your comment and based on being around, and I'm going to read the super chats here in a minute, but to me the biggest criticism I've seen of this chapter is that once again Goku lets his guard down to lose. And I totally get where you're coming from, because it is something that's played out. It's a thing where every single month we have the same, not month, I'm over exaggerating, but every so often, more often than not, we have this sort of ongoing repetitive story point in Dragon Ball Super where Goku and Vegeta will train really hard, but then they'll make a mistake, and sometimes the mistake is their own fault. hey, I'm not gonna kill you, but I want to give you a senzu, or hey, yeah, I'm sorry, but I have a soft spot in my training, or I didn't. It's usually something that they should have. It's a lesson they should have learned already. Here it was different though because I don't think the problem is that Goku lost to getting caught off guard. I think right now somebody in the chat's talking about that. I think the issue is the fact that when you're an Ultra Instinct silver haired, the idea is that you don't get caught off guard because your entire body is moving by itself. The mastery of self movement. And by the way, y'all, I don't feel very good today. I'm just being honest with y'all. So if I don't have as much energy as normal, please forgive me. I don't feel that good. I really don't feel good today, but I'm still gonna do the stream. I'm gonna get to your super chats here in just a moment, but I just wanted to get that out there that I think the issue is that also we have a bit of a contradiction because people were saying that, oh, Ultra Instinct, wait a minute, how can it be possible that UI fades? And we did say that UI faded. The problem is that he said it for Omen. If you remember back in the Moral arc, that's when like that happened. I look like a bum. I don't know, man. I own this house, bro. You can't really be a bum if you own a house, you know what I'm talking about? But you know who's a bum, bro? You, and you just got banned. Too bad, so sad, yo dad. Come live with me in my house, bro. I need somebody to fucking wash my car. Anyways, I'm gonna have some fun today. Let me see if I can go ahead and get some of these super chats because um why not? You know what I'm saying? Let me unpin the message. Give me 1 second. But yeah, I just feel like that's the problem is that Omen is the form that Whis had said in the Moral arc had the stamina problems and perfected UI doesn't. Then all of a sudden now it does in this arc. So it's like they have to come up with ways to handicap Goku and to have him reach a new level of power. But the problem is that it's just getting very played out. Now, again, I say that to say this the art was still great and I did enjoy the fight. The first half of this chapter was phenomenal. I kind of wish that the whole chapter was just them fighting, but there was enough fighting, I think, to where it was still satisfactory. But story wise, it just, there wasn't much story here, anyways. I can't criticize it too much. Now, let's see here. Is it just me or is DBS falling apart as far as lore and character development? DB and DBZ story wise is much better. I keep watching because of nostalgia. Well, that's you're 100% right. Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z are better than Dragon Ball Super. I mean, anybody who says otherwise, I just don't understand how they could say that unless they've only seen the dub or never really watched Dragon Ball and Z. Just the story and the lore and everything is better than the old stuff. The new stuff is nostalgia bait. So if you're losing interest in Super, I can't really blame you because, like I said a minute ago, it is becoming a bit repetitive. It is becoming sort of the same old shit. And I think Dragon Ball fans want more. I think this Granola fight, I don't know about you guys, but personally, I'm waiting for, like, not Vegeta versus Granola, even though that's coming. I'm not waiting for that. I'm waiting more so for something like the heater, something interesting to happen to pull them away from the fight and then start a new fight. That's what I want. You know what I mean? Daquan says, "Hey, Geekdom, salute to you, brother. But do you think Vegeta will get cucked? I mean, doesn't he always? Or does he know a weakness in the Cerulean people? Also, did Randall K lose alpha ness by losing to John Cuxon? I didn't even know that happened, bro. That I guess he kind of did. Now, as far as Vegeta getting cucked, right? He does know the weakness, and the weakness of the Ceruleans is the eye. So I think that if Vegeta goes into this fight and Hakai's Granola's eye thing, he might have a chance. But oh, by the way, leave a like if you're here. Don't forget to leave a like. It helps me out, please. But also, I want to say that to say this: with how powerful Granola revealed himself to be this chapter, chapter 73, and how he was able to withstand Ultra Instinct, if not go a step further and actually, like, in a way, defeat him. If UI is always going to have this problem where it gets weaker, then I don't even understand, like, why it's so special anymore. Like, it's the highest power, but people were saying they nerfed UI. I don't think they nerfed it, but I think they made it less important. That's what I think. I think it's less of a trump card now. Vegeta will probably lose to Granola. I'm just keeping it real with you. I think that's the way it's going to go down. I really think so. You should invite Emish to stream or MJ. Okay. Thank you for the super chat. It wouldn't be a bad idea. Uriel says, thoughts on what Vegeta said to Granola? Do you think it's another aroma of Vegeta character regression? No, I think it's just Vegeta being overconfident again, which that is a point that I wish they would overcome. But at the same time, he might actually have a plan. And I think the plan's going after the eye. I think if Vegeta Hakai's that eye thing, I think that could end up being his strategy to win. Korg says, hopefully Vegeta finally gets his time to win. He kind of deserves it at this point. I think he might be able to outsmart Granola. I think that's a possibility. But he's not going to be able to defeat Granola on power alone. That's just not happening. I mean, anybody who thinks that Vegeta, even with Hakai training, is stronger than Goku with UI, you really got to, like, understand Dragon Ball a bit better, man. Because Goku with UI is much stronger than Vegeta. UI is a different level of power, but they did hurt UI in this chapter. They definitely took it back a few notches, which really disappoints me because I really like UI. But they basically said, okay, well, the more Goku's in UI, the less effective it gets or the weaker it gets. And it's like, wait a minute, like, that's not what you said before. You said that was the problem with Omen. It's like Toyotaro pulled it out of his ass. That's the way I feel. But I'm going to reread the chapter at some point again to see if I'm missing something. Because it's just, I think it's too, I don't know, it should be a lot simpler than it is. But people get confused way too easily. And I kind of agree with that, Rebel Eric says, a lot of people have issue with this arc. How would you write this arc? Or can you do a video on how you would write this arc? Not a bad idea. Actually, let me think about that. And then I might be able to do a video on it. Because there are things about this arc that I would change to make it better and to make it longer and to make the fights matter more. But I want to kind of wait and see. Hey, and over 900 people, man. Leave a like. I really appreciate that. Oh, man. Hold on. Task Force Pest Control with a $50 super chat. Thank you so much for the generous donation. That does mean a lot to me, and it will go to good use. He writes, maybe Whis will recognize Granola's power is unnatural and get involved. Also, preferred Z, at least Z had new ideas and genuine ideas for villains. Right. And as far, I agree with that. And as far as Whis getting involved, I don't know if he will get involved unless there's an actual threat to, like, the multiverse. Granola just wants to kill Frieza and the Saiyans. That's not going to really affect that much. But I think if Granola gets power hungry, that could end up leading to an Angel or at least Beerus getting involved. At least him. Because Whis is not allowed to get involved. He's not allowed. Like, he's not allowed. So it would have to be a serious threat to where the Grand Priest, like, is okay with it. That's the only way. You know what I mean? Otherwise, I don't see him getting involved. Not in my opinion. Super Alvin Jackson says, missed my 2 super chats even though you answered. I don't see one, man. I really don't see 2 super chats. I'm looking. I do not see 2 super chats, man. Maybe it messed up or something. I don't see any. I don't see 2 for you. I scrolled up and everything. I don't know what happened. Martin says, how strong Oob will be when Goku goes and sees him? Asked because Granola is extremely powerful and what will be the next enemy they will encounter. Well, I don't know about the next enemy they'll encounter. That's something that I don't even think Toriyama knows. I really don't. And I think that one of the things about this arc about Dragon Ball Super as a whole, you're not going to be able to convince me that Toriyama had this arc planned out before Moro. I think that they are writing it arc by arc. I think like what they used to do back in the day. I don't think they're actually thinking about the future. I think they're just coming up with stuff arc by arc because things come off like more of an ass pull than they should be. You know what I mean? Things come off very unnatural. And because of that, I don't think Toriyama's playing the next 3 or 4 arcs. I really don't believe that anymore. I don't think he ever did, honestly. I really don't think he ever did this, but Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z flowed a bit better. Maybe because Toriyama was in the zone so much every week. So I think that that's why they came off better. But at the same time, I still feel that nowadays you can tell they're just like, okay, we have to come up with something for Goku and Vegeta to do. Okay, let's do this. We have to come up with a way for them to lose. Let's do this. Like that's the way I feel, honestly. That's how it comes off. As far as how strong Oob will be, that I did a video on that actually. It was called like how Ultra Instinct and Base changes everything or something like that. I did the video a couple months ago where I discussed that, and I discussed looking at the end of Z again because that's what it's about. It's about Oob being stronger. Let's see. Marcos Mos, would you watch a DBS spinoff of the Pride Troopers and Hit spinoff? Yeah, I've said that a billion times. Any spinoffs, of course I'm gonna watch it, and I'll cover it here on the channel. Welcome, Darth Jiren. Black Lantern Draven says, will Vegeta coat himself in Hakai like Topo so Vegeta can avoid contact from Granola's attacks? Okay, well, will Hakai energy actually block Granola's attacks? I don't know. I mean, think about this. Goku was an Ultra Instinct, silver haired, and Granola still hit him. We see it here. Goku was tapping into UI while using red and blue, and he was still getting hit. By the way, this page right here that you're seeing, these are my two favorite panels or my two favorite pages of this manga. If you look at the upper left right here of Goku fighting Granola, I love that picture. Love that art. Toyotaro is phenomenal this month, yo, when it comes to his art. Look at this. This is the kind of art that I wish Dragon Ball had every single chapter. And again, maybe it will from now on. I'm not gonna say it won't, but I'm letting y'all know that the art is just great. Gonna respect him. As far as Vegeta coating himself in Hakai, I like your idea, but I'm not sure that's enough to stop Granola. Granola really showed a lot this chapter. Granola showed that he really is the strongest in the universe. He was busting out cunning techniques. He was outsmarting Goku. He was faster than Goku a couple of times. I'm just flabbergasted as to how much heat they put on Granola. Toriyama and Toyotaro really put a lot of heat on Granola, yo. And I wonder where they're going now. Because I thought Vegeta and Goku would have been able to beat this guy. Will we actually see Gogeta? Let me know in the comments or in the stream right now. Do you think we'll see Gogeta? Yes or no? Because it seems like, is that the only option now for them to win at least? Just thinking, you know what I mean? I'm not saying it'll happen, but will it? I'm asking you. Mr. G says, love the videos. When's Goku's Father's Day video dropping? In your personal opinion, do you think he's a good father? That's going to be happening next year. I've postponed it for this year because I had a lot of stuff come up, and the 20th happened to be Father's Day when the manga dropped. So I couldn't do it this year. So the Goku is a bad father video is going to be dropping next year on Father's Day. That's the plan, unless I forget. So do me a favor and remind me sometime next May so I can get started on it before June happens. So I'm postponing it for a year. Thomas Bush says, hello, Geekdom. Thank you for the content. Well, thank you for watching. It's therapeutic. Are you familiar with Malifak from DC Comics? No, I don't. He's a Martian Manhunter villain. His story is similar to Piccolo's Do It Broly. Not familiar with him at all. I don't know much about DC. I have not read a lot of DC. I've read mostly Marvel, so that's why I'm not familiar with that. But I'm not against reading it. Most of this DC stuff I read is Batman, Superman stories. I need to read more Flash and stuff like that. I really do. I mean, I need to do it. I just never have enough time for anything anymore. Darth Jiren, I'm not sure why Toriyama approves this stuff. Toyotaro kind of backed himself into a corner with MUI. Seems pointless. Yes, he did, but also Toriyama may have been the one to write that. Because Toriyama wrote this arc. See what I'm saying? So, I think what happened was, when they did the Jiren arc or the Tournament of Power. I think that Toriyama wrote the silver haired form to be Goku's ultimate trump card. That's what I believe, and I think that's what the plan was, right? And I think that what happened was moving on. I think he kind of said, okay, we can't have Goku use this too often because he'll be too powerful. So instead, we're going to make it to where Goku can't just tap into it when he wants, which is why Super ended with him and Vegeta confronting each other. And Vegeta's like, what about UI? And he says, I don't know how to do it anymore. So that gave us Broly. Then moving on, Goku learned he couldn't just use UI at will. Trains with Mirrors, gets stronger in Omen, and then finally does MUI at will. So we're like, okay, this is peak Goku. And then this arc starts, and all of a sudden we find out, oh no, there's angelic versions that are higher, and you have to learn how to use it in your base. But if you use the silver haired, it'll be your trump card. Then we find out that even with the silver haired, it drains your energy or it goes down, it lowers your effectiveness. Personally, I don't like that. Some people like that. Look, I hate having to say this. If you liked it, fine. Cool. You like what you like. I'm not one of those guys that's going to be a dick to you because you like fucking what you like, okay? But for me, I don't like that. I think it's lazy writing. I think it takes away from the coolness of MUI. I mean, in my opinion, it does. I feel less invested in MUI than I did last chapter. I thought he would only bust this out when he had to win. And now all of a sudden, and again, it was stated before that the Omen form is the one that takes away your stamina, not MUI. So I'm doing a whole video on this, yo. I really am. It just seems it's not my favorite. It is not my favorite. Thank you for the super chat, Lawrence Cairo. There's always fusion, which is what I just said, yeah. Thank you, Super Alvin. I says I got your 30, but I don't see anything else from you, bro. I'm serious. I wouldn't lie to you about that. Deshaun Williams, I see bailout fusions coming. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, I didn't even read this thing, and I see people talking about fusion coming. Dick's out for Gogeta. See, people are talking about, and then that was Kevin. And then Gaming Hub says, I feel Gogeta may come, but not so early in the arc. That's what I'm saying. Like, even y'all are agreeing with me that it's almost like they have no choice but to use Gogeta. We're going to see mastered UI. Like, what is this, man? Is Goku ever going to master this shit? They have to keep coming up with new ways for him not to master what we thought he mastered like years ago. It's funny to me. Like, I'm not mad about it. Dragon Ball does not get me mad. I know some people, like, they read this chapter. I see it on Twitter all the time. Or they read Super or they watch something. Oh, I hate it. It's not my Dragon Ball. It's not what I grew up with. I agree. And listen, we're always going to have Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. They can't take that away from us. Right? If you like Super, great. If you don't, that's cool. I feel like with Super, I just see it as more content and more fun. I see it as just stuff to discuss more than I'm actually emotionally invested. You know, I think they have to focus on other characters besides Goku and Vegeta. I think they have to explore other universes. We've seen enough Universe 7. I think they have to go above and beyond what they're doing, in my opinion. Right? That's how I feel. But I'm not hating this to where I'm like throwing furniture. You know, I just think there's better ways to do this. And I'm going to do that video about how to write the arc better. You know? I agree with you, B-Swim. I agree with you on that. Let me get back to the super chats here. Darth Jiren says, I kind of like how Goku forgot UI. Feels like it makes more sense for him to be in base at the time skip with Oob. I don't think he forgot UI, bro. I don't think he forgot it. Christopher Reeves, not Superman, says, with all the events, thank you for your super chat, by the way, I appreciate it. With all the events that have transpired, namely the impressive feats of Granola against UI Goku, has your feelings changed in any way regarding the fact that this power came from a wish? Keep up the good work. Yeah, I think that the wish is too powerful. I think the wish Granola made is too powerful and it breaks the dragon. Everything I said a couple months ago in my criticism video stands. Like, I think While I'm surprised that Granola is that strong, and while I think the stuff he does is cool, don't get me wrong. I think the stuff and the moves he does is very cool. I feel like I feel like it's just, you know, if I'm being critical, they have to do something to get rid of those Dragon Balls. Because if Granola's too strong, man, he is very powerful. And again, I'm not against him being strong because he made the wish. He showed some cool feats. I mean, look at this stuff. Look at this. Like, let me get to other parts of this chapter. Like, he's just kind of taunting Goku half the time. Like, and I like it. Like, I'm not hating on it at all. I liked this fight. I enjoyed it. But, like, what about other characters making those wishes? Like I said, when the heaters make these wishes, they're going to be unstoppable. Unstoppable if they make that same wish. So I think but I'm not going to judge it entirely. I'm going to wait and see how it plays out before I trash it, you know. I'd rather just do that because you never know what they have planned. Waffle says, finally made a live stream. Been watching you for years. Do you think Granola has moved from people we've seen before, his vital spots, moral thing, etc.? It seems like it. JD seems to believe he also has UI and Hakai. We're going to find out next chapter for sure, because I think if Vegeta does Hakai and then he sees it and he does it, then that means he probably has Hakai. I think the answer to the question of how much technique Granola really has, I think we're going to find out next chapter. I really do. I think that's going to be chapter 74 will be a very important chapter in this arc because we're really going to see what Granola knows. Because Vegeta can Hakai whatever at this point. But at least we think he can, right? Thank you for your super chat, Waffles, and your support. Will we get a YouTube short from you shotgunning a DBS soda? Shotgunning a DBS soda. I didn't even know there was DBS soda. I mean, I know I drank like a Spirit Bomb soda or something at a con a couple years ago, but let me know about the soda, bro. Send me an email or something. I actually don't know about that. Polish Sausage, I am curious. That's a funny name. I'm curious if Toriyama ever lets Vegeta to beat the main adversary. I recall him saying he wants Vegeta to play a main role. He probably meant Raw F. Yeah, he did, and that was years ago. That was like 5 years ago or 6 years ago, so I don't know. Will Vegeta ever be the main villain? That is the question. How about this? I'm going to ask the chat room. Chat room. Will Vegeta ever defeat a main villain? Type yes or no in the chat. I want to know. I'm going to read your chats here. In the chat room, yes or no, will Vegeta ever be the main villain? Because I think we're getting a lot of no's, bro. No offense, I'm sorry. I don't even care about MUR Hakai, just want SS4 and more Broly. Well, you're probably not going to get SS4, but you might get more Broly. In fact, I think you will. And I hope for the next movie you will. This Sean Porter says, do you think DBS is on track to fail like the past manga? Or do you have hope these new chapters inspire hope for the future arcs? Depends. Okay, let me read the chat. No, yes, no, yes, no, yeah. Hold on, I'm reading the chat before I answer that question. Lots of no's, which is what I thought. A lot of people don't think Vegeta will ever be the main villain. I can't blame you for thinking that because he never does. He helps. But as far as him actually finishing off somebody, when? When does it happen? You know, I'm not trying to be a dick, but I mean, come on, when the fuck does it happen? And never. I'm sorry, but it never happens. He never does it, man. He helps, but he's never the actual guy to do the finishing move, you know. Should he? Probably at least once. Or how about they focus on other characters? So let me get past, do you think Dragon Ball S on track to fail like the past manga? I don't know what you mean by past manga, or do you have hope these new chapters? I always have hope that Dragon Ball will get better. Art-wise, like I said before, this chapter was great. But story-wise, it's like the same shit over and over again, bro. It's constant, just the same old shit. Goku and Vegeta training. New guy comes along. They fight him. Like, what about, like, they haven't even shown some of the other characters. Like, Gohan shows up to be a cheerleader. Piccolo shows up to say stupid shit. Like, I don't know. And they're just like side characters. Like, a lot of times they don't even fight the main villain, or at least for maybe a couple of panels. You know, like, where's like Gohan and Piccolo and Gotenks trying to fight Moro? It was there for a little bit, but it wasn't like the Majin Buu saga. It's all Goku and Vegeta. They're the only ones that have a chance. And so that's all we think. And you need to do more with that, I think. Bring back the Universe 6 Saiyans. Focus on them if you don't want to focus on Gohan. I don't know. Or whoever. Thank you, El Jefe and 8-Bit Acid. Uriel, do you think OG73 is going to play a huge role or just going to be forgotten about? I did a video about this like 2 months ago. I think he will come back. I hope he's not forgotten about. I really, really hope he's not forgotten about. I really do. Really, really do. Thank you, El Jefe, by the way. Because he could be a major player in this whole thing. I mean, he really could be. So, and he could end up being the main villain. But at this point, who the hell knows? I'm going to bring in Rithwick now to talk to me about this chapter and discuss, everything. Hey, Rithwick, you're live with me. Can you hear me? Unmute yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, what's up, man? What's going on? You're live. What do you think about the chapter? Do you have anything to say?
I'm good, and actually, the chapter, it like it. I have extreme feelings about it. Like on one hand, the art is amazing. The
Right.
fight scenes are really amazing. But on the other hand, it feels like this entire arc up until now has been very rushed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they didn't really take their time. Like Granola got his power, and the Heaters showed off their plan, and Goku and Vegeta they achieved their goals. Like it's almost like there's no real build up to it unless the arc's gonna go long. But do you think it's possible that with the movie getting announced, that Toyotaro was told, "Hey, you have to wrap this up by this time, because if you don't, the movie's gonna come out and not make any sense." Do you think that if the movie's after Granola, that maybe he was told by Shueisha, which, by the way, I've said this before, Shueisha controls everything, including Toei, so they are the bosses. So if Shueisha told them, "Hey, we got a movie coming out next year, you got to wrap this up as fast as possible," is that a possibility?
Yeah, I think that's definitely very possible. Because the way these chapters have been written, it kind of feels like the fight is going to end right here. It feels like this is the final stand between Granola and Goku and Vegeta. Is
Right,
my
but we haven't
voice
seen
echoing?
Frieza, but we haven't seen Frieza yet, or the Heaters. Like I think there's gonna be more to it than that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. Is my voice echoing?
It might be
Or
echoing a
am I?
little bit, but not too bad.
Okay,
It's
okay.
fine. Go ahead.
Just give me. All right. So, yeah, I mean, it feels like I generally think that probably Toyotaro was told that finish it fast and then we get to the movie. But honestly, like this chapter has some really confusing things. Like for one, in the Moro arc, like I think you said, like in the Moro arc, we says that MUI, the Silverhead form, it does not have any, stamina issues.
That yeah,
And
I don't
here
remember
in
them
the
ever
very
saying
beginning
that.
of the arc, he says, yeah. And I remember, I think you had made a video about how if there is Gogeta in one of the future arcs, it won't have a problem like Super Saiyan Blue does. Like when Vegeta fought Zamasu, he used up so much power that his fusion timer ran out faster than it was supposed to.
Right.
And you said that if they use MUI, it could be the stamina problem.
Yeah,
And
because
here we find out that,
they're able to control themselves better because they have their bodies moving on their
yeah,
own.
exactly. And now we find out that it actually has stamina problems. But one thing, I found inconsistent is that we saw Goku fight Moro in the Silverhead form. for a lot longer than he fought Granola, and yet he seems to have more stamina issues here with Granola than he did with Moro.
It's an ass pull, bro. I put headphones on, by the way. I
Yeah,
should have eliminated the echo. It's an ass pull, man. It's an ass pull. Like,
yeah,
there's no other way to deny it. Like, it's an ass pull. And I know there's Dragon Ball Super fanboys that can never criticize Dragon Ball Super. It's the greatest thing ever. And I'm not one of those guys, bro. Like, there's stuff I like and there's stuff I don't like. And it is an ass pull because they never ever said the silver hair is supposed to be it. Like, when he does silver haired, that's his max power, and he's over here acting like a damn fool. Oh well, you know your stamina's going down. Like, since when? Like, that was supposed to be an Omen problem. There's panels where he
exactly.
told Maris. He told Maris, like, hey, I understand the Omen has an issue, but he hasn't been able to unlock the true Ultra Instinct in the Moro arc, and now all of a sudden there's this. You know?
Yeah. Now, I have a sort of theory as to why, Granola said that Goku's stamina went down, and I have a theory as to why it went down so quickly, compared to the Moro arc. It is possible that when he was trying to use, UI in his base form and
And then the
like,
Super Saiyan God
using
or
it
whatever.
to, yeah, Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan
Right,
Blue,
right, right.
it is
Yeah.
possible that it drained a little stamina there, but I'm not
Yeah.
entirely sure.
They didn't say. Did
Yeah.
they say that in the chapter?
No, they didn't say it in the chapter, but I mean, it
Okay,
could
but
be an
okay,
issue. I'm not sure,
maybe.
but it could be. Yeah.
Okay, maybe you're right, but here's the problem with that. Even though that could be what they say, the problem is that Whis is the one that told Goku you have to learn how to use UI and base for its best, and then you can elevate to silver haired. So Goku's just
Yeah.
doing what Whis told him to do, unless there is a way they can get out of this. If we find out that UI with Super Saiyan God in blue drains your stamina, but in base it doesn't, because we told
Yeah.
Goku in base, which is what we do, the
Yeah.
angels. So it could be that Goku thought to himself, well, if I use UI with Super Saiyan God or blue, I'll get a power up. But in base is not the same, because when you're using Super Saiyan Blue and God, you are using up stamina. You are using up ki, God ki. But when you're using
Hmm.
UI and base, you're just letting your body move on its own. So I feel like that could be something where it comes back to haunt Goku. That's fine.
Yeah.
But I still think that the silver haired form went down a little bit too easily, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Real quick, let me get this
Yeah.
super chat. Uh Martin says they must explain the Namekian that created the Dragon Balls. Well, they got them from the Super Dragon Balls, unless you mean the one on cereal. Izzy is says it's unfortunate that the writing is so bad. I mean, it is. It really isn't the best writing, you know. Um, and then Josh Picard says, much love from ATL. Your podcast keep me going at work all day. Will you and Brandon Draven get together to discuss MCU Phase 4 in a future podcast? I don't know. I haven't actually thought about that. Leave a like if you're here, by the way. We're at 527 likes. Leave a like and boost this video up, please. It really means a lot. I want to get more people in here. Um, so, Rithwick, what do you think about Chapter 74, Vegeta? I'm going to bring somebody else in after you're done, but does Vegeta
Yeah.
have a chance here, bro? I don't think he's going to win this fight. I just don't.
Mm, yeah, honestly, I don't think he stands a chance, power level wise. But I do have a feeling now, towards the end of the chapter, I saw a sort of trend, in this chapter, like while fighting Moro, Goku was the one who stood back, took in the surroundings, and realized that Moro is using his passive energy absorption and, making all of them weaker, absorbing the energy of the planet. Here, Vegeta seems to notice that, Granola is not actually there, but he's in his ship. His power seems to be coming from his ship.
Right.
So it is possible that maybe he has come up with a plan in that time. But according to me, towards the end of the chapter, he seems to be instigating Granola, trying to piss him off purposely, maybe so that he, rage clouds his judgment
Right.
and he's not able to focus on the vital points. Because from what we've seen, while going fist to fist, toe to toe with Goku, of course, that was the clone, but while he was doing that, Granola and Goku seemed to have an equal footing. But the moment the tide changed was when Granola focused and targeted a vital point from afar.
Right.
When he
Yeah.
struck that vital point, that is when Goku actually lost.
Yeah.
And we literally see him fall out of MUI. So I have a feeling that, in the next chapter, Vegeta is trying to instigate him, make Rage cloud his judgment, and then he's going to go for his. He's going to prevent him from being able to target or see vital points in his enemy. And then, according to me, Vegeta's definitely going to lose. Unfortunately, I hate saying this. I love Vegeta
No, I
as a
mean, but
character, but
it happens, man. It happens.
yeah,
He loses a lot.
yeah, like
I don't think he's gonna. It
I
could
know,
be a draw. I don't think he's gonna defeat him.
yeah,
Right? It could be like the heaters interrupt or whatever, but I don't think he's gonna defeat him. I think what could happen is Vegeta realizes that the heaters are doing something, and then he stops the fight. But I don't think he's gonna be the one to actually beat Granola. You know what I'm saying?
more definitely not. I
Yeah,
actually thought that it is possible that they actually have an extra senzu at this point. They
that's
have one
right. They
senzu beat
do.
remaining. Yeah. So I have a feeling that if Vegeta manages to damage Granola's eye, he may, understand that he cannot go toe to toe with Granola, and he may end up giving the senzu bean to Goku, uh,
Just
allowing him to.
please don't give the senzu to Granola. That's all I ask.
Yeah,
Please don't do this.
yeah,
Please.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Please, Goku. Goku, please don't give the fucking senzu to Granola. I don't care what you think. Don't give it to him or the eaters. Don't. Just keep it for yourself. Please. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, man. I'm just
yeah.
saying. What if MUI having a stamina issue, this is from Ryan, is to set up Goku having to master it in base? That's what I just said, yeah. And that's exactly what he should do, but MUI should not have stamina issues. That's the problem. Talib Kwali 18, current Vegeta versus LB Jiren. Who are you taking? LB. I don't understand what LB means. I think,
Right.
okay,
Let me
so
tell you.
do you think Vegeta can beat Jiren? I don't know. I don't know about that. Maybe he can
Actually,
now.
I think he might be able to go toe to toe with him, toe to toe with him at least at this point. I mean, if you're comparing him to the Jiren from the TOP arc, I think he did go toe to toe with him. But if you're comparing it to Jiren at this point, I mean, at the end of the arc, we saw, Toppo and Jiren say that we're going to train next time we'll beat them. So it is plausible that he's actually a lot more powerful than he was during the Tournament of Power.
I think he's way stronger, but is he strong enough to beat Jiren?
Yeah.
That's the question. Well, man, thank you for being here. I'm going to bring somebody else in, but I'll move you back to the other room.
Yeah, actually, I just had one small thing.
Yeah,
Can I say?
okay. Go for it.
Yeah, actually, we've seen like how Vegeta was training on Yardrat in the last arc, and I have a feeling they didn't actually, like Toyotaro and Toriyama didn't actually explore that as much as they could have. I mean, Force Spirit Fishing was amazing, but we did see a few other techniques on Yardrat itself that, could help them out of this fight. Like, we see the tiny Yardanians create copies and clones of themselves.
Right.
So, if Vegeta is successful in damaging Granola's eye, and he, comes to the realization that he can't beat him in a straight up fist fight, but maybe why Goku might be able to. I'm feeling he may possibly create like a clone or a copy or something
Like
of
what
himself.
Granola did. Like what
And
Granola did,
yeah,
basically.
yeah, and he might
But
go give
don't
a
you
sense to
but don't you think
Goku.
Granola don't you think Granola would see through that though? Don't you think he would know that's
Yeah, that
happening?
is possible, but it might give them enough time to, it might give him enough time to give Goku the sense. That's what I'm saying.
All right, that's fair. As long as he doesn't give it to Granola. Well, thank you for stopping by, bro. I appreciate it. And all right, we're gonna bring in let's see. Okay. K.O. Carlin. You're live with me. K.O. Carlin, what's up? Unmute yourself. K.O. Carlin. And you fail. Okay. Ryan DBZ. Ryan DBZ, you're live with me. Hello, unmute yourself.
Hi.
Hey, all right. What's going on, man? Sorry, I just the other guy didn't talk.
Mm.
Oh, hold on. Deshaun Williams said, nah, Vegeta is gonna talk. No, just the boy. I don't know. And then Korg said something, but I can't read what Korg said. Okay, what's up? What do you think about this chapter? And what do you think about the next chapter?
I thought this chapter was good, but last month was definitely better in my opinion. I feel
Okay.
like this chapter just kind of just shows a lot of my problems I have with the manga overall, with especially with Ultra Instinct, where we saw Goku. Like it's just I know they set up like weaknesses for it, but this just feels like too much of a coincidence. Where
It's
it's
just
like all of a sudden,
it's
it's like
always the same shit. Like something has to happen so Goku loses. Like,
yeah.
oh, he doesn't pay attention. He does like he makes a dumb mistake, and it's just like, all right, bro.
Like I've had plenty of issues with the manga, but I keep reading it because the good outweighs the bad for me.
Right.
But this month just had like it was just kind of all piled into one. I still enjoyed it, but like
You're just you're you.
everything's
I'm guessing you're just kind of
yeah,
fed up. You're just kind of fed up.
it just
You're
feels like so
drained.
much like coincidence at this point. With
Right.
like
The art was
okay,
good.
no, the art was great, yeah. Like it
So
just the Ultra Instinct just feels like it's just not as special as it once was.
that's what I was saying earlier. So what do you think about Vegeta and Granola? Because I think the only chance he has is to blow out his eye. But even then, Granola showed so much strength this chapter that is it even gonna matter? Leave a like if you're here, by the way. Please leave a like. Like,
Yeah,
is it even gonna matter next chapter? I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. I think Vegeta's gonna try, but like they even said, Granola was like almost like half his strength. I think they said, and now he's like going all out. I assume. So like Vegeta probably isn't gonna get the chance to get towards him, and if he does, what's
Right.
stopping Granola from just countering back at that?
There's a guy in my chat who says I'm tired of Goku winning all the time. When people say that, bro, I wonder if they even watch Dragon Ball ever. Like, whenever somebody says Goku always wins, I'm like, have you watched Dragon Ball? And then whenever somebody says Goku always loses, I'm like, have you watched Dragon Ball?
Yeah,
That's
like
how I feel. Like,
he wins and loses, especially in Super. He
the
loses more than he wins.
motherfucker just lost. He just lost to
Yeah,
Granola.
like in Super, he loses more than he wins.
He
But
lost to, and that's fine. He lost to
yeah,
Broly until he fucking did Gogeta.
yeah. So I think the only fight he's really won, besides like main fight, would I
Jiren?
guess be Moro. Not even like he
No,
got like
because
seven
Jiren, he had the
people.
back thing happen to him or whatever. Yeah. Go ahead. You were saying
Like
Moro?
I guess Moro technically because he did get the finishing blow, and then maybe Frieza. Everyone else, even Moro, he needed help with. Only really Frieza. No, everyone he needed help with.
He
He
always
didn't
needs
beat a
help.
single villain on his own in Super.
Right. Right. The only one he beat on his own would be what? Even Majin Buu, he needed help. He needed everyone's help. So I guess it would be what?
Yeah, a lot of
Frieza?
times he needs help. Yeah, but even
Frieza.
Frieza, he needed Whis' help.
But even right, you're right about that. That's a good point. And hell, when he fought Frieza, he's doing Super Saiyan Blue, and they're going back and forth. And then Frieza's stronger, but he has that weakness. But again, guess what happened? Goku got caught off guard. It's like,
Yeah,
all right, bro, by
stuff like that
sorbet.
doesn't bother me. That he wins or loses. Like I'm kind of just used to that
No,
at this point.
right, I don't care either. Yeah,
The stuff that bothers me is what like all these like coincidences to the point where it gets ridiculous. And like the character Goku getting too strong, which I know he's supposed to get strong, but it's at this point where it's like, how strong is he gonna get? How many more power ups are they gonna, or how many more, whatever stuff to add? Like all the Beerus is once like the top one, and you have the Angels, and you have Zeno, and you have Goku trying to catch up to them. Like, is Goku ever gonna get to Zeno's point? Like that'd be ridiculous.
I don't think I
Honestly.
would like Dragon Ball if that happened,
Yeah.
man.
Like it's just ridiculous, honestly. Like it gets strong when they have to make another thing to make it like, oh, he has to grow again. Where it's like, okay, I get he has to grow, but make it interesting. Like the whole God and Blue thing when like he used Ultra Instinct, that was cool. But then he went
I
to
agree.
Mastered, and like it's like, oh, it gets weaker over time. More Granola was attack.
Since when?
I'm like,
Like,
what? I mean,
did I miss something? Like, legit, did I miss something? Like, I feel like
I remember
I
they
feel like
specified
I
it.
missed something.
I remember they specified it in like the Turn of Power. Like Goku was getting like weak or whatever as he was fighting or stronger or something like that. But and they eventually got knocked out by Jiren. But it's like we said, like, oh, once you master it now in the More arc, no one can stop you. And I'm sure that was true for that arc, but like you said, it feels like they're writing one arc at a time because something that applies to that arc won't apply to the next arc
They weren't
because they'll just
thinking,
write
man.
something to
I
write
completely
it.
agree with you. Ryan Gordon, what if the stamina issue isn't due to the form, but rather Goku's mortal body? That's the thing. The problem is not the stamina issue. The problem is that there was no foreshadowing to it. If they had
Mhm.
told us from the beginning, okay, your mortal body can only handle UI for 5 minutes. Okay, it's no different than fusion. You have a time limit, but they didn't tell us that. And so because of that,
Yeah.
we were led to believe that UI was silver hair was like Goku's ultimate trump card that had no flaws. Now all of a sudden it had a flaw.
Yeah, like they even at the beginning of the arc they said that. But the thing is, prior to that, they literally said no one can counter you or no one can stop you now. And it's like, oh, clearly that's not true anymore when the next arc starts. It's like a
That
big reset. Like I was so
that
happy when the arc
yep,
started because we
yep,
saw like
yep.
7-3.
Bro,
I'm like, finally,
we're
I'll
in a
just continue.
fucking hamster wheel, bro. It's like the same shit happening over and over again.
Yeah,
And I think people are tired of it, bro. Like I'm certainly tired of it.
yeah. When the arc
You?
started, we saw 7-3. I was so happy because it's like, okay, it actually feels connected. But then it's like they just kind of abandon that and just start doing their own stuff again
People
with like
keep
not feeling connected.
people keep asking both in super chats and in comments, did they forget about 7-3? Did they forget about Frieza? I don't think they forgot. I think they'll
I
be
don't
in
think they
this
forgot about
arc.
Frieza.
Right.
7-3 though.
Yeah, I
I'm not
know.
sure honestly.
They might have just thought that he was junk or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know. If I had to bet money, I would bet money that we won't see 7-3. Frieza, they definitely didn't forget about him.
No, I think
But
we're gonna see him.
7-3. Honestly, personally, I just don't think we're gonna see 7-3. Frieza, I do think so, definitely.
Right. I think you're right. I mean, I hope we do see 7-3 though.
Oh, I'd love to, but like I just don't. It just seems like every time something happens where it's like, oh, the arcs are actually connected, it's like they just kind of abandon that and just move to the next thing to make it
Tom
like its own thing.
Thomas Jeffer says super late, so forgive me if it came up, but Granola's eye sounds like the Sharingan Kakashi made a guy said he could see the future, but it was the eye. Well, that's Naruto, bro, and I've only seen like one episode of Naruto, so I don't know. That's from Thomas. Alman John says, Geekdom, what's the difference between a watcher and a sailor? One sails watches, the other watches sails. That's wacky, bro. That's wacky. Hey, Alman, what's the difference between boogers and broccoli? Kids don't eat broccoli. It's terrible, bro. Terrible. All right, man. Well, thanks for stopping by. I'm gonna bring in one more person, then we're gonna close out the stream.
All right, thanks for having
Thanks.
me.
No problem. All right, Havoc, you're live. Havoc, Havoc, you are live. Havoc, go counting down. Okay, you're unmuted. Hello? Havoc, talk. Havoc, you fail. All right, I'm going to try one more person. All right, Kyle, you're live with me. FTW Arts, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Hold on, I'm just gonna mute your stream real quickly. That way, I'm not hearing you twice.
Right, or yourself twice.
Yeah, it's fair. Yeah.
Right. No, whenever you're ready, man, go for it. Real quick,
Alright,
real quick, I just want to say Wesley Wu says, can you shout out my homie Lou Sassel? Well, shout outs to Lou Sassel, bro. It sounds like a pun, but shout outs to Lou Sassel. You got a shout out. Thank you,
I feel
Wesley
like that
Wu.
might be a joke.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you guys said shout out my homie Dan Druff or some shit, or bend over, whatever. But Lou Sassel might actually be a real person. Okay,
Well,
so
Bend Over is actually a pretty cool dude.
yeah, bro, it's a pretty cool thing to do as well. But we'll leave it at that. So what's up?
Oh, not much. Well, we're talking about the manga, so I was personally very impressed with this specific chapter. I'm
Really?
very
Okay.
I'm more concerned about like the art side of things than the story, since that's what I do.
You are an artist, yeah, it makes sense.
Yes. Toyotaro's, in terms of composition, storyboarding, and the actual art this chapter have drastically improved compared to how it was in Moro, and was overall very impressed with this arc.
Do you think this might have
chapter.
been? Do you think this chapter may have been the best art like as far as paneling goes and organization. Because I think if it's not the best, it's top 3 as far as Toyotaro's run.
As far as Toyotaro's run, this is definitely one of his best chapters, possibly his best. I'd have to go back through the manga, but just off memory, this is the best I've seen his work be in a while.
I think so too. I think the way he set up his boxes, I think the way that he has Vegeta like and Goku, I think the fight. I think it was. I said that earlier. I said that the art is the best part about this chapter. So, did you have any problems with the story, or do you just not care?
With the story, on the topic of UI Goku, the stamina issues, I feel like people might be forgetting in the Tournament of Power how Goku's body basically erupted from his back because of UI. And Whis says, I didn't think the drawback of UI on the mortal body would be that great. It puts a strain on the body, and that's why Goku's body reacted that way. So I think in this case, rather than the body basically just exploding and giving out all at once, it's draining off over time, rather than just the massive drawback leaving Goku collapsed for a while.
Do you think that's because of the fights, the God in Blue with UI thing?
I think that's also a part of it. If you recall back to Z and Super, Goku said he never used the Kaioken with Super Saiyan because with Super Saiyan he didn't have enough control in order to use the Kaioken. I feel like this might be a similar situation where when he stacked Ultra Instinct on top of his other transformations, it became unstable and led to the stamina issues.
Wish they would explain that. Like, I wouldn't hate it so much if they explained that. But I
feel like we might get it explained later in the future because for some reason Dragon Ball has a habit of doing things and then explaining it the next arc or something rather than just having it said outright. Which, I mean, I prefer that over, like, say if Vegeta was saying, like, interrupting the fight, oh, he's using that leads to stamina issues. It just feels like it would be contrived rather than having it be something they find out later. It's just how they're handling it. I'm not that great of a writer, so I don't know how they would handle that better, but I feel like it could be handled better.
Well, the Nocturne of Shadow says he should have skipped God with UI last chapter and used that section for Blue with UI. If he used Mastered UI for all of this chapter, a stamina excuse would be more believable. Yeah, that's the other thing is whether or not you like the stamina or whatever, the drain off thing. I think we saw silver-haired UI lose. I think it's all about like I think a lot of it's about perspective. A lot of it's about like just our perspective reading this manga, how it's not like a full out movie or a TV show. And I think it felt like UI lost too easily. That's the way I see
even
it.
in the Moro arc, UI ran out pretty quickly. If you remember, he had to get help from, I think it was Oob or someone to give him more energy to maintain UI because he dropped out of it when he was fighting Giant Moro.
You're talking about the very, very end?
Yeah, at the very end.
Well, I thought that energy was done just for purposes of him being able to maintain that large form. You know, we didn't see him do that in this chapter.
Well, if I recall correctly, he dropped out of UI into Blue while in the middle of fighting Giant Moro because he ran out of energy to maintain UI.
I don't remember that. I swear to you, I'm thinking about that right now in my brain. Like I'm trying to recall that, and I don't remember that.
Yeah, because it was when he was like, no, that was after the giant. But yeah, I thought he was when he was punching forward, but that was after that. I don't remember exactly the event, like right before it, but I do remember him dropping into Blue against Giant Moro, and that's why Vegeta had to use his fission technique to give energy to Goku so he can go back into the UI, and that's when he went giant.
Yeah, but was it that fast though? I mean, I certainly felt like he was using UI a lot more in that chapter or in that arc because he had UI for what 2 straight. It was like 2 straight chapters, right? Or 2.5, something like that.
Yeah, but then it might also be a combination with the Super Saiyan with UI stamina issue, with that draining more than it would be if he was just using the complete Ultra Instinct. I feel like it might be a combination of those two things.
I had in the chat saying Moro was draining Goku's energy. I seem to remember that.
I think that could be a factor too.
That's good that you remembered that, but it still doesn't explain what we said before. But I guess we just have to face facts, bro. I think we all have to just face facts that UI now has a drawback, and I don't like that at all. The drawback was originally Goku couldn't do it, like he couldn't do it at will. Now he can do it at will, but there's a drawback to it. So it's like there's always a drawback to something. You know what I mean? And it does that. That's the issue, is that it's almost like they just come up with it out of thin air. It feels that way. I'm not saying it is that way, but it feels that way. You know.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that when the
Well,
anime
again,
adapts this, they'll add more stuff to it.
Yeah. And again, in the Tournament of Power, I had the drawback of it basically making Goku collapse after he finished using it against Jiren.
You mean when
At
his
the end of-
you mean right like at the end of 130, right?
Yeah, at the end of 130, when he was about to knock Jiren off the ring, when his back basically exploded and everyone thought it was Frieza.
Yeah, he was too hot. He was burning up too hot.
Yeah. I feel like this
Um,
might be a similar thing.
real quick, Owlman says, "Don't you remember that seller and watcher joke was from the Doshin when Goku has to tell a joke for King?" God, that's right. I did forget about that. Niners ENG says, "Would you want a show about the adventures or story of Grandpa Gohan, going through his training and enemies he encountered, and maybe end the series when he finds Goku's pod?" I'd be okay with that. I think it would be short though. I don't think Grandpa Gohan should have like a 200 episode show. It should be like 12 episodes. You know what I mean? Like a mini series. Godly Entertainment says Goku's time in UI was probably so short due to the unnecessary damage he was taking in other forms. Yeah, we talked about that. All the moving around, fighting, and key attacks used contribute to his loss of stamina. Well, yeah, I mean nobody lasts forever. It's just that I think people felt like it was too fast. You know, that's honestly how I feel, bro. All right, Johnetta Johnson says in chapter 71, Whis does mention a stamina problem and the time limit with Silver Ultra Instinct. That's the reason Goku's training in base. Yeah, but I thought that was Omen that he. Oh, no, actually, I have that screenshot. But in the moral arc, it was Omen. So that's where things get weird. Like it's almost they changed it. Like you know what I mean? That's where I'm confused. Could it have been that Goku was tired before transforming into UI and pressure pointed a few times? Remember that what the hit said about that? Yeah, no, that could be it. I mean, everything they're saying makes sense. Everything y'all are saying makes sense. It's just that I don't think that the manga explained that yet. But they could next chapter. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and trash it entirely, but they could next chapter. But I still feel like UI is not as cool as it used to be. I mean, I just, they can't take that feeling away from me. You know, maybe they can fix that, but I mean, come on, you know? I don't know.
I still love it a lot.
Oh, so do I. I just feel like it's, you know, it could be better. Anyways, any final thoughts before we get out of here?
I don't have anything really in mind. I personally like the change to UI, but that's for my own personal reasons.
Do you think Vegeta has a chance?
Do I think Vegeta has a chance? Okay. Realistic, like, if we ignore the writing aspect of Dragon Ball, I think he could have a chance. However, I think we need to remember this is Dragon Ball. Vegeta never wins against the main villain. He is going to lose. It's just his character.
I think so too. I think it may be at the best. At best, it could be a draw because the heaters get involved. But I don't think he's gonna win. I'm gonna do a video with Opie soon discussing that in more detail. But all right, man. Well, thanks for being here, bro. I'm gonna move you back to the other room.
Thanks for bringing me in. I'll see you later.
No, anytime, bro, anytime. All right. With that being said, I'm gonna bring the stream to an end. Thanks for everybody for joining me. I have a bunch of videos coming out. Obviously we'll have tons of content as always, and we'll be covering the movie and anything that comes down the pipeline. So I am not feeling too great, but I still did the stream for you guys, and I'll always be here. And I may do another stream very soon. But in the meantime, I want to thank you as always for your support. It means a lot to me. Thanks again. I'll talk to you soon.